It has been said that it is far more blessed to give than to receive. Most of us know how true that is. By the way, these are the words of the Apostle Paul as recorded in the book of Acts chapter 20. Clearly now, gifts benefit the ones who receive them. But from God's point of view, generosity is far more important for the giver than for the recipient. In Matthew 6 we read, "Don't hoard treasure down here where it gets eaten by moths, corroded by rust, or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasure in heaven where it's safe from moths and rust and burglars." It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place where you will most want to be and end up being. Now, when we're generous to others, our heart is drawn toward God. Now, I'm not talking about being frivolous or silly with what we have. We must be responsible with our giving. A great way to start is simply to ask God where He would have us give. Very often it's through your own local church. This giving supports local work as well as the wider community, and that in itself picks up various needs. There are so many scriptural references to money right throughout the Bible, so checking out helpful passages encourages us to step out by faith. The character of Jesus himself is that of an unselfish giver. Unfortunately, as humans, we are selfish by nature. Now, one way we become more Christ-like is by giving regularly. It has been said that giving is not God's way of raising money, it is God's way of raising people into the likeness of his Son. Again, I'm reminded, as the old saying goes, hearses don't have tow bars. In other words, simply, we can't take it with us. However, it is as though each of us has an account in heaven that we will be able to enjoy for eternity. And although we can't take it with us when we die, we can make deposits even now to our heavenly account before we die. Of course, in the natural, it may seem a little strange when we give something away. We know that it's gone. But the promise of God is that when we give it to the Lord, he will provide. That first step can be difficult, but I encourage you to step out in faith. A friend of mine used to say, the worst part of any job is the thinking part about it. It's true. How many times have you ever thought about something that you must do and you've thought long and hard before attempting that specific task? And then when you've stepped into that role, you've discovered that it wasn't that bad after all. Now, an accountant may tell you not to spend your money, but when you take the step towards generosity by faith, you will discover that God will honour you. But over and above the physical is the spiritual gain as we put our trust in the Lord to lead us through giving, not just that which we may have in excess, but particularly when it comes at a cost to us. I think of the time when God spoke to King David and told him to buy the threshing floor from Araunah. Now Araunah saw the king coming and he said to David, "You can have this place at no cost." But David said to him, "I will pay the full price. How can I offer sacrifices to God that have cost me nothing?" Giving is an important part of our spiritual journey, a time when we put our dollars where our mouth is, and we discover that which many people speak about, that God is no one's debtor. Now, my hope and prayer is that you will discover this principle, not for what you may get out of it, rather so that you may reflect the love of God as he gave his most loved Son as the Saviour of this world. I trust that you have a wonderful week, and remember, we are blessed so that we can be a blessing.